My parents turned my son's garage into a streaming studio. Grandpa turned it into an eviction notice. We had driven over to Grandpa's vintage barn to install the new carburetor we'd saved up for. The car stayed there because it needed a climate-controlled environment and my garage is damp. The second I slid the heavy barn door open, the smell hit me. Not oil and old leather, but ozone, fresh drywall, and cheap energy drinks. The sound of cooling fans whirred in the distance. My son, Leo, lit up. Did they install the AC unit for us? My stomach twisted into a knot before my brain caught up. Leo ran to the main bay and froze. The hydraulic lift was empty. The shelves of parts were gone. In their place stood a glass-walled box filled with monitors, neon lights, and microphones. Is that for the car? He whispered, his voice trembling. I forced a smile I didn't feel. Let's find the chassis first. But the bay was scrubbed clean. The corner where the engine block sat was now occupied by a beanbag chair. Leo stood there, clutching his wrench, looking at the empty space like a ghost was standing in it. Did Grandpa sell it? He asked, tears welling up. No. Then where is it? I left him there and stormed into the main house. My mom was folding laundry. My dad was watching golf. And my brother, Kyle, was testing a ring light in the corner like he was Spielberg. Where is my son's car? I asked. My dad didn't even look away from the TV. We liquidated it. I stared at him, blood roaring in my ears. You sold a numbers-matching Shelby. It was a rust bucket, he said, dismissive. A liability. Kyle has a real career opportunity. Kyle laughed, adjusting his hair. He's 12, dude. He can't even drive. I'm building a brand. This studio is going to generate millions. My mom added, like she was offering me a cookie, don't bother your grandfather about this. His heart is weak. What she meant was, don't bring consequences into our little renovation project. I went back to the barn, took the wrench from Leo's hand, and said, we're going. He didn't argue. That silence hurt worse than any screaming match. That night, he sat in his room watching car restoration videos on mute. He finally whispered, I guess I wasn't good enough to finish it. And I felt something in my chest harden into stone. The next morning, I drove to the nursing home and told Grandpa everything. The empty barn, the neon studio, the rust bucket line, the demand for silence. He listened, stone-faced. Then he asked, did Kyle bolt that glass wall to the concrete? Yeah. Drilled right into the foundation. Grandpa nodded. Good. That's structural damage. I'll handle it because that barn was never theirs to renovate. 6 weeks later, my parents sent a group chat invite like nothing had happened. Studio launch party. Saturday at 2 o'clock. Leo looked at me, eyes dull. Do we have to go? Before I could answer, Grandpa called. We're going, he rasped. I want you to see their faces when the bill comes due. The barn was packed with Kyle's influencer, friends and neighbors. My parents were soaking up compliments on their investment. Kyle was live streaming, toasting to his own genius. Leo stood beside me, fists clenched, staring at the spot where his car used to be. Then the barn door rolled open and Grandpa walked in, flanked by a sheriff's deputy and his attorney. He scanned the neon lights and stayed dangerously calm. He rolled his wheelchair up to my parents and didn't blink. You sold a vehicle title to the family trust? He asked, voice cutting through the chatter. My dad's smile cracked. We leveraged an unused asset, Dad. You fenced stolen property, Grandpa corrected. That car belongs to Leo's trust. And this barn, it belongs to me. Kyle stepped forward, phone still recording. Grandpa, chill. The studio adds value. The lawyer stepped forward and opened a red folder. Notice to vacate. 60 days. You are being evicted for unauthorized alterations to the property and theft of trust assets. The room went dead silent. Kyle's friends started shuffling toward the exit. My mom tried to play the victim. My dad tried to bluster about family money. Kyle tried to claim squatters' rights. None of it worked. The car had been tracked down by the VIN within 24 hours. The buyer, a collector who knew Grandpa, had flagged it immediately. Leo's Shelby came back 2 days later on a flatbed. He touched the fender like it was holy, then buried his face in Grandpa's shoulder. Grandpa actually teared up. My parents got a court-ordered repayment plan for the buyback cost. They moved into a cramped condo with no garage and thin walls. Kyle is currently streaming from a closet. A week later, Grandpa slid a deed across the table. The barn and the farmhouse were being put into a new trust, one managed solely by me until Leo turns 25. The first night we worked in the barn, it was quiet, earned quiet. Just the sound of a ratchet clicking and classic rock on the radio. So, tell me, did my grandpa go too far, or did they get exactly what they paid for?